Okay. Hello, hello. If you're watching this in the future, I am recording now. This will just be my general tutorial on using Premiere+2 create function on how to digitize. Um, the thing to note is that this program is no longer being serviced or available by FAF or any other program. So this program dies with me. If you're watching this after the panel um, of how to do embroidery, welcome. If you're finding me on YouTube, also welcome. Um, yeah, I'm just going to leave that because, yeah. So we're going to go straight into it. Let's see. So I did a quick art. What we're going to be doing today is how to do um a 4x4. So we're gonna go and change our hoop. um I do have my hoop set to inches. I normally like millimeters, just because it gives a more accurate like scaling to my brain. But I had to go to inches because I was doing something very technical, so bear with me. All right, so we got that. We're gonna go new. We're gonna create express embroidery. It's not gonna show, but that's just how screen captures work. I just quickly drew a quick vector in Clip Studio Paint. So this file will also be available. Where did it get saved is the question. Can I not do a, can I, okay, hold on, I gotta go resave because apparently I can't. And either it didn't save it correctly or it did not save as a PNG. Or it did and it moved somewhere else. Okay, save as. Well, it should have been in the desktop. Illustration 5, we'll just save as JPEG. Sometimes the program gets a little fussy. I don't remember if it likes JPEGs or not, but bear with me. I'm doing this mostly because when I do panels, I'm not going to have, oh, he's there. I just couldn't see him because he's black and white. I was not going to have ability to digitize because I no longer have on a portable computer anymore. Auto digitize is pretty friendly until it's not. So you're gonna see firsthand how auto digitize sucks. So I'm gonna finish. There he is. He is super. He needs a lot of help, guys. Good thing we're gonna start over from zero. So sometimes you'll notice here, so it made a lot of random stitches. It did the pattern fill instead of making it empty. This file will be free on my Ko-fi for you guys to make, but we're just gonna make a little keychain plushie. Something easy, but on the more complex side for people who want to do something a little bit different. But we're gonna start from zero. The art is done, so that's all that really matters. And for the artists in the room, you know how art goes. You draw it once, and then you draw it again, and then again, and then again until it's perfect. So, I don't know why his teeth got all messed up. Look at that. It ruined the file. Good thing we're not making this a forever copy. So what I like to do is start with the smaller areas. So we're going to actually change this to color insert. Change it to red because his little mouth is red. With embroidery and making embroidery files, you have to remember you have to start backwards. So you start on the background colors first and you build up on top of them like a painting, but there is no, how do I say this? There's no undo. So once you put something down, the order in which you put down is really important. Sorry, taking a sip. All right, so we're gonna go up to precise create. I want this to be a satin stitch. No, pattern fill. I'm gonna create the line area and then we're just gonna zoom in. And then it's, for those who know vectoring, it's basically vectoring. So we got his little happy mouth right there. And then I'm gonna edit points. And so you can see the stitch weave right here as I go, and I'm kind of just mimicking around. I have not tried the free program that I mentioned during the panel, so I don't know how Stitch Ink works per se. This is how I learned to digitize, and back when I was looking and going through softwares, I was getting really upset. I tried this one, I loved it. I love the user interface. SewNet, which is its parent company, has changed quite a bit. So I don't know if I'll like the newer versions. When my computers eventually go out, I'll have to figure out something else. So we're going to change color. We're going to go to white because we got to put his little teethies in. So we're going to go back to precise create. We're going to create area, and then we're just going to put the teeth back in. Now I lost all my lines, which is actually, and then it did that, which is actually kind of upsetting. So we're gonna delete that because that turned out no good. Okay, we're gonna start with the top of the mouth first. Okay, then we're just gonna make our little triangles. So I'm doing circles. The cool thing is if you hold the control button, you can basically make it without a whole bunch of dots. So we're just gonna make his little shark teeth. Up and down, up and down, up and down. We'll hit select. That looks hideous, but that's okay. That's why we have this tool. And so we're going to straighten up some of these lines. We're going to delete some. I did it this way so you can see the process. I'm in a rush, but I'm not in a rush, so to speak. So for sharp points, I really like turning it to the squares because then it makes everything pretty sharp. I'm bringing on his teeth a little bit more. He's a happy menace. Okay. I'm gonna click off. All right. I'm gonna fix that mouth. The biggest problem I have found is that this program is made for FAF. And while it can read out to brother machines, there is one brother machine it does not like, and that's the PE series. No matter what I do, no matter how much I edit, the files never read clean. And that's just a thing with the programming. My 3 brothers I've had, so SE, my VM 5000 something something, and my 6 needle all can read FAF, like read the codes for FAF. So I've never had an issue, which means I cannot test the file. That's really the only conundrum. So we got a happy little guy and his happy little mouth. This is designed to go on Minky, and so the base reading, I don't know if you guys, it will pop up. Nope, it won't pop up. So the base reading is pattern 3, density 2, and that will definitely fill in on Minky fabric with a topper. If you're doing something where you want it to be thinner, for whatever reason, the fabric, the tension, whatnot, you always want to look at the density of your stitches. I'm leaving this pretty basic. So, all right, we're going to do some quick cheats. So we're going to change the color right now, insert color. If you're running on a single needle machine, I'm trying to make this as limited color changing as possible. So we're going to go to quick create. I'm going to click down. We're going to click a circle, add a satin line, and I'll show you why in a second. And then we're going to hit shape. Boom. I'm going to change the color though. He has super yellow eyes. There we go. Okay. Box select. So we're gonna Bring this down. Now you're going to see the satin stitch is kind of huge, but that's okay. We will fix that. He's going to look a little wonky here. So we're going to click in and we're going to go to the settings. Can't see it, but we're going to go to line because it's in inches. Bear with me. So 0.10 with a density of 3 is my go-to for pretty tiny circles. That's still not enough. So let's see. Let's go 0.05. Well, let me go that well. Yeah. Okay. Let me check the live preview to make sure it's not. Okay, that looks good. So we're making it super delicate circle because his eyes are kind of tiny in this one. So copy, paste, bring the other eye over here. I don't really care where I drew it. I was just doing a quick draw, but they're both the same, so that's all that matters. Now what you can do if you don't like the yellow rim, let's say I want it line, you can insert a color change and we can make it black. Black. Okay, apply. Then we'll do it to this one. You'll see it the little black on the thing right here. Insert color change. We're gonna do the same color. Boom, boom, boom. We got little dark eyeballs. He's gonna be on black fur, so it's gonna work out. Oh, he has such a little terrorizing face. All right. Now, I personally do not like leaving it coded like this. So what I'll do is I'll go to edit, I'll go to break apart, and it's going to break apart the file. Since I'm going to have black outlines anyways, that's okay. So I'm going to delete the extra. I'm going to delete the, oh, nope, I want to leave that one, Control Z. Okay, I'm going to delete that extra. And then we're going to grab this satin line and we're going to drop it down here. All right. Next one is going to be his little gold things up here. So we'll go back to this color. We'll go to precise create. We'll trim, leave the pattern fill on because I do want that thing. And then we're just going to make his little ear cuffs. Ooh, that is horrifying, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go to edit points. We're going to change the line down to 0.5. That seems to be 0.05. There we go. That seems to be the middle ground. Of what I want. So you're going to see right here, because of how I set it, this ear, I want this ear to be behind this ear. So we're going to swap it so that this ear cuff kind of sits higher. We're going to not have rounded curves. Get that little finite point. We're going to bring this up a little bit this way. And then we'll bring that down. I'm going to put a couple more points right here. So it gives its little look that I want to give. Okay. Now we're going to do the same. I'm going to move this so this guy will sit slightly underneath. Some machines might not like this, so this is definitely a, when you digitize, work with your machine and how angry it might get at some of these techniques. My machines tend to do okay, so, but that's the perk of, you know, learning digitizing, so you can learn your machine and what it can and can't do. So I'm gonna put that in there. Those little ear cuffs. So I am actually not going to digitize much more. I'm going to do his little arms, and then the mouth outline. But what I am going to do, so he has an outline, right? I'm going to do some of the detail in black, so the lines would look on the Mickey. And then everything else will be shape dependent. So I'm going to use shape language of the pattern that I'm going to create to get what I want. So I'm going to do a satin stitch for a little arms because I want them to pop out. And there. Again, it's hideous because it starts out at a really odd size. I got to fix my settings because it's going to drive me absolutely bonkers that it starts at this size. So we're going to go to 10 and we're going to do a density of 3. We're going to go to this one. We're going to go 10 and change the density of 3. Sometimes I change the finish and start points if I want them to be a little bit fancy. So let's see, there we go. So you can see this one has a little pointy, so it looks like more like a drawn picture, but it is also working with shape language too. So when you're designing files, you do want to look at the shape, right? Like what are you patterning? What are you doing? I thought I turned, oh, I didn't turn on, there we go. Make it pointy. The nice feature, which won't show up on the recording, is that I can go up to live view and be like, how is this looking? It looks horrifying, but it's the correct version of horrifying that I want. So, right, so there we go. I want an outline. I think I want an outline for the mouth. So we're going to do precise create. Oops, zoomed in bad. Just because I want to give his mouth more form. Oh God, it's so horrifying, guys. It's so horrifying. Okay, let's see. We're going to drop this guy down to 0.05. Density is fine. We're going to move this guy down a bit. Just so there's a little bit more breaking. It's not quite on top of each other. Okay, edit points. We're going to do close loop. So we're going to close borderline, so it's going to automatically close. And then we're going to move this little mouth line. So what I could do, as I'm giving this more shape, right? For the teeth, I could outline it in black. This is close to the final, like I'm doing the outline, so I am close to the final outline. So what I could do, put a line, triple stitch, and then we're gonna break it apart. Edit, break apart. We're gonna drop the triple stitch down here. And that's just gonna give his mouth a little bit more definition. Now there could be some peaking of color, so I won't know until I test it. I'll have the actual file up and tested hopefully tonight after I finish this video. If I need to make changes, I need to make changes. But I tend to be pretty spot on now with the first rendition. But as soon as I get the bugs and kinks out of it, I will definitely post it. So now we're into the plushy part. So to make in the hoop files, right? So I'm checking how my files looking. This is your pattern line. This is what we want to tell the shape language of the Miki to do. So what I'm going to do is precise create. I'm going to put the sewing stitch right here. So this is where I'm going to sew it close. I'm going to start here. I'm going to go down. Now I am going to go out of the hoop area and I'll shrink it up in a second. But we're just going to go around so that he has shape, right? I'll clean some of this up later. So then here's his little ears. So we're going to get kind of close there because that's where it's going to turn out, right? We're going to go up here to his little fluffy things, his little bunny ears. This is where it's going to get real tight, right? But that's okay. We know it's going to be a bunny. Oops. and then that happened. So that's okay. We're going to go home. We're going to edit points. We're going to drag this point back down where we're going to be editing. And then we're just going to drag. I love that I'm making mistakes so you guys can see in real time how I fix things when I do something wrong. I don't know why it's on satin stitch. It should have been on triple line, but that's okay. So we're going to get something close to where we want so I can go ahead and edit. So we're going to go here. We're going to go triple stitch. Boom. All right. This is our sewing guide. I'm going to move the little. Now, what I could do is go in and do a satin stitch of his body. Depends, right? So I'm actually going to take a look at the live view in a second to see if that's what's really needed. But this, pretend, is your seam allowance. So your fabric is going to sit out here, and then it's going to stitch around so you, except for closing and turning out, don't have to do any sewing. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a stitch line of his outlines now that I'm looking at it, but that's okay. So, and it's okay we're out of the hoop area because, to be honest, I'm just going to shrink them after we're done anyways. So we're going to insert points. Just going to go around his ears. This is the only dubious part. I'm not going to cut out his bunny ears since I've decided now to commit to the outline. Just going to make it all one thing. There we go. So it's a little wonky. You don't have to make it as wonky. I'm going to clean it up a little bit right here. So depending on how you want your stitch to look and do, you can make it as wonky as you want. I'm just grabbing the general outline because it makes it easier. My mistake is not making this hole big enough. So we're going to move this down since this is going to be our stitch line. We're going to change the color because we don't want it to be a color. We want the color in the file to be different because if it's not, the machine will group everything together and mess up the order of your stitches. So make it a different color. And then if we want to make it a keychain, we go back here, that's why I go back here, precise create, triple stitch area. I'm going to put the keychain actually right here. So what this is just a triple stitch that goes back and forth, and you'll make this a different color. So we're going to make insert color change. We'll make it red. We actually want that on top. Because what you'll do is you'll tell your machine to stop, or when you change colors, you'll put a ribbon here. You'll lower it down here, let it stitch, and then move on to putting your fabric on top so it can close everything. So I'm going to take a quick look at the little guy. Nope, it won't let me look. So it makes to make it smaller. Control A. We are here already. Control A. Oh, come on. Control A. Mother fudger. Okay, we're just going to highlight everything. There we go. It's going to get real wonky here in a second, so bear with me. You usually want to hit this point. Oh, he's so cute. I will delete the photo and paint. So there's our little guy. Again, your art doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be your outlines. Because then you'll come and start making this little horrific creature. Okay, we're at 24 minutes. All right, I'm trying to go fast. Final step now is putting in our outline of our little horrific guy. Precise create, we're gonna do satin stitch. So we're going to put in his belly. And we're going to put in his little feetsies. Okay. I don't think I need an outline here, but we do need an outline for his ears. Control Z. Okay, so remember we're changing the order because we want it a certain way. We're gonna go in, we're gonna edit points. We're gonna drop this to 0.05, 0.05. Okay. Now these guys are not sitting where I want them. So remember how I said the layer is really important? So we're actually gonna grab this. We're gonna move it down here. We're gonna insert color change. Actually, we're just gonna copy the color up here. We're gonna copy. We're gonna paste the color. So that way the ears will sit behind the thing. So if you're on a single needle, you'll have to switch colors at this point. So you'll only be doing gold for that one little bit and then swapping back. As I said, this is a more complicated embroidery project. I'll probably upload some more beginner-friendly projects as well. But for right now, for the panel, I wanted to make sure I did something kind of in the happy medium. So if people want to challenge themselves and haven't done in the hoop yet, then this is a good, nice, simple, multicolor, multi-layer thing to work on. And should, in theory, it's only 3,000 stitches. Take you, if you're quick on switching colors, should only take you about 10 minutes on the machine. So we got his little belly right here. Okay. I think that should turn out okay. Actually, I'm gonna change this to be okay. It's not 0.5, so we're gonna change this to 0.5. And we're gonna change the points to be little pointy arrows. So the mouth, just caught that. Not enough overhang. So you also want to make sure your overhang's pretty substantial as well, just to make sure you don't have any like blind spots. Minky is very forgiving though. Like it is very forgiving. And since it's going to be black on black, it'll be a little bit easier, but it'll have the texture points. Oh, let me put in his little top stitch ears though real quick. Okay, where are they? There. Okay, so I'm going to do the second layer real fast and then he is done. Do a little wonky doodle. Edit points. Gonna make it 0.05. And then we're going to copy, we're going to paste. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna twist it. And that should be our little gremlin, our jewel gremlin. All right, so that is everything. And if you're at the panel, I will have the little demo of him up here at the front. And if you're seeing this later, I'll have a picture of what he looks like on the file on Ko-Fi. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for watching. If you have questions about embroidery, feel free to ask. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to type it down below. If not, catch me on Twitch. I stream a lot of crafting stuff. So I will see you another time.